of our national anthem. Riverside Community College Band providing us with a national anthem to get things kicked off in just a few minutes here from Titan Stadium. Right now, to get a better idea of what to expect from the Rams of the City College of San Francisco, let's head downfield to John Fralla. John?
We're on the practice field here with Coach George Rush of the San Francisco Rams. We're on a 21-0 winning streak at this point.
That's right. We lost our opening game in the first game of 1996 and have won 21 straight since then.
What would you say would be some of the highlights of this season that's brought you into this game so far?
Well, I think a couple things. You know, the play of our quarterback has been outstanding. He's thrown for almost 2,700 yards, and then Kevin Brown at our running back position has rushed for over 2,000 yards. So it gives us a lot of balance on between the run and the pass. And our defense has been real strong all year. So hopefully we can maintain those things in this game.
How about the fact that the both of you are pretty close in your turnovers and your passing and the yards and stuff? It's going to be a pretty close game. Are you looking for a tight score?
Well, I would think so. I mean, I think teams are pretty evenly matched. You know, my biggest concern is just they're so darn big. On their offensive line, you always get concerned that they can get a push on you. And, you know, we're not quite as big on the defensive line. We're real fast, but not quite as large. So, you know, those are the kind of issues that kind of concern us a little bit. But, you know, there's ways to counter that too, so we'll see what happens.
How do you like the condition of this field here? This is a beautiful day here.
I really am. I'm really surprised, you know, with the amounts of rain and the number of high school games and playoff games we've got here. This thing's in you know, pretty pristine condition, so, you know, I think it'll be a great track for everybody.
Thank you very much for your time, Coach.
Okay, you're welcome.
Back to you, gentlemen.
Thank you, John. As we just heard from George Russ, 21-game winning streak. He's been here with the City College of San Francisco for over 25 years, has been the head coach for 20. Well, we're about ready to rumble here from the Titan Stadium on the campus of Cal State Fullerton. The Mounties of Mount Sac will receive the football. Back to receive will be Larry Shine, and he'll be assisted by D'Angelo Stewart-Holmes. Larry Shine last week ran one back for 94 yards on a kick return, and that was the first and only kick return for a touchdown here in the 1997 season. Teeing it up is Jermaine Dyson doing the kicking duties, and we're about ready to start off the Blue Diamond Community College California Football Championship. Nice high kick. D'Angelo Stewart-Holmes is going to take it at his own 2, running out to his right. He's to the 15, decides to cut back, and has dropped down to the turf right at about the 16-yard line, and that's where the Mounties will operate with a first down and 10.
You can tell a lot about this game by what the coaches have said about either team. George Rush came out and said the Mounties are flat out scary, and so he's really looking to take care of some business today. He said that the Green Bay Packers of their division, they've really been beating some people up, those Mounties. The Bill Fisk said that the Rams are by far the toughest team they played all season, and it's going to come down to the big plays, so they're looking to get some big plays early here.
First down and 10 from their own 16. The Mounties with the football in the I formation. Jamal Bradley along with Eric Shine in the I formation. Asante Donzi goes in motion to the left. Give this to Eric Shine. He tries to go, cuts back the other way out in the open. He's to the 40, 45, 50, 40, 35, and is brought down at the 30-yard line of the Rams. Eric Shine looked like he was going to go right up through the middle portion of the field, decided to cut back, had an open field ahead of him, and has a big gainer for a first down and 10.
Great play, great cutback, and excellent job of running. Good job by the defense to run him down, but just like the coach said, looking for those big plays to get this game underway.
Eric Shine with 1,000 yards plus here in the 1997 season. As you see him here in the replay, for those of you watching television, one man bringing him down with the touchdown saving tackle. And now the Mounties first down and 10 at the San Francisco 31. Jason Taylor going in motion. Machete from the shotgun play action. Tosses it out to Taylor in the flat on a crossing pattern. And he's hit. There's a fumble on the play. And it looks like the Mounties will maintain possession as the ball will be spotted right at about the 26-yard line.
Scary there for the Mounties at the end, as might have coughed up the football, but I believe he was down before the football came out, as the ref said.
Jason Taylor making the catch. He's 5'9", 205, a running back out of Ayala High School. Was a gain of 4 yards on the play. Will bring up a 2nd down and 6 situation. Ball spotted at the 26 of San Francisco. Eric Shine now acting as the lone setback. Mounties showing 2 receivers spread out to the left with Dwight Carter, Jamal Bradley, Brian Futrell, and Asante Donzi spread out to the right. Machete on the long count and on the option tosses out to Shine, looking for some room, tries to cut it upfield, and he's going to get caught for a loss of about a yard or so. Will be brought down to the turf right at about the 27-yard line.
Excellent defensive play by San Francisco there. Penetration into the backfield, which forced the option to go out to the running back, and then still had some guys to close in.
James Cotton, the linebacker, makes the stop for the City College of San Francisco. Will be a loss of about a yard on the play, so we'll call it a 3rd and 7.
San Francisco's really going to have to keep an eye on Machete, as he does have 500 yards of rushing on the year, so that is a factor in this game as well.
Asante Donzi spread out to the left. Dwight Carter out to the right. Bradley and Shine in the backfield. Play action. Machete dumps it out to his left. It is caught by Bradley. He's down to the 15 and knocked out of bounds right at about the 11-yard line. Should be a 1st down. In fact, it's well past the 1st down marker. And it will be spotted just inside the 11-yard line of San Francisco.
That was a great job by the quarterback to sell the play action and get the ball into the flats, pick up the 1st down. Great play by the Mounties.
This is exactly what the Mounties need to do, and this is where they have come up with victories all through the 97 season. They immediately try to come out very aggressively on the attack, try to get things up on the scoreboard as quick as they can, and now they are faced with a 1st down and 10 with a ball spotted just outside of the 10-yard line. Shine the lone setback. Mario Scott as one receiver. Shine rolling out to his left. He's finally caught down right at about the 6. Credit the tackle on the play to Johnny Anderson, a defensive back. He's 5'11", 195 pounds, a freshman.
Good play calling by Bill Fisk on that play, spreading the receivers out wide, really spreading the defense out, and working the inside there with the running back, Shine. Gets some good pickup on the play.
5 yards picked up on the carry as the ball spotted right at about the 5, so it's a 2nd down and 5 here for the Mounties of Mount Sac. Really, if they take the ball down to the 1-foot line, they'll come up with a 1st down and 10. Now they're going to show a jumbo package. Bradley and Shine in the backfield. Brian Futrell has an H-back. Give this to Shine. He's going to get hit in the backfield for a loss. Great defensive play by James Cochran, a rover, 6'2", 210 pounds, sophomore for San Francisco.
Cochran coming up big on that play, getting past the offensive line, shaking his blocker off and getting into the backfield for the loss.
Well, both of these teams come up with some very good defenses. The Mounties have really kind of been in and out of the #1 rated position as far as defenses here in all of California. Going to be a 3rd and 9, so it was a loss of 4 on the play. And once again, it's a jumbo package. Machete on the play action, rolling out to his right, looking for somebody to toss to, has plenty of time, getting chased out of the pocket along the sidelines, throws it, and it was caught by Brian Futrell, who's ruled out of bounds. Brian Futrell was doing the tightrope walking there along the sidelines. I'm kind of surprised that was not a TD.
That really looked like he was inside the line, but ref called it. He was right on the money. That's a tough call.
Official was right there, so we're going to give them the benefit of the doubt, obviously. So it brings up now a 4th and 9 situation. It looks like Jaime Cortez will come in for the field goal attempt. Will be a field goal attempt of about 26 yards. Is facing kind of a stiff wind. There's a crosswind coming out of the west. Wallach on the hold. Kick is up on the way, and it's good. So at 10:59 early here in the 1st quarter, the Mounties draw first blood on a very long offensive drive, and they lead this ball game by a score of 3-0.
Well, as the coach said, they're looking for big plays, and that big run by Shine really opened things up for the Mounties to get them down close for the field goal.
Let's step aside for a short break. We'll be back here on WCCT at 90.1 FM KSAK.
Here's one time it doesn't matter who your neighbor is. Here's the other. Life's too short. Stop the hate.
Welcome back to Titan Stadium as the Mounties of Mount Sac lead this football game by a score of 3-0 on a drive that took 8 plays and 84 yards. Really moved the ball very effectively, David.
Definitely. It was that big run by Shine that really broke things open for the Mounties. And the kick now, deep kick.
Mike Scott puts it well past the end zone. Philema Armstrong, a running back, was back to receive the football. And Mike Scott, who's done some great kicking all through the 97 season, it proves why he's one of the best kept secrets here for the Mounties of Mount Sac, as he gives no return here for the Rams of San Francisco.
Yeah, there's nothing like giving the Rams no chance for a good run back on that play to make a big play of their own. Now it's up to Mount Sac's third-ranked defense to take care of business and hold on to that lead.
So the Rams of the City College of San Francisco come out for their first offensive drive of the afternoon, and it looks like there was a penalty on the play, and that will set back the Rams even further, as the ball will now be spotted right at about the 10-yard line. That's where they'll operate with a first down and 10. Terrence Bryant will line up underneath center. Kevin Brown is the lone tailback, and back to pass is Bryant. Tosses it out to Roquemore, and he's caught right at the line of scrimmage, trying to do a crossing pattern, and winds up maybe getting a loss, maybe no gain at all. Jerry Roquemore was just kind of doing a crossing, and Bryant tosses it out to him in the flat.
Kind of a dump play there, but didn't really work out for him, as you can see on the replay here. Actually a loss of 2 yards on that play. Uncharacteristic for Roquemore, who averages 20.9 yards per catch, which is huge for a receiver.
They're going to call it a loss of 2 on the play, so it's 2nd and 12. Back to pass is Bryant, rolling out to his right, tosses it out too flat. The ball is dropped. Intended receiver Robert Garth, he's 6'4", 216 pounds. He simply tried to one-hand it and couldn't get a handle on it. Let's take a look at the coaching matchup for this afternoon. Bill Fisk, having been on staff here for Mount San Antonio College for 33 years, has been the head coach for 11. While George Rush has been on staff for 25 years, 20 years as head coach. Overall records you see there are pretty significant for both of these gentlemen, as Bill Fisk winds up being the winningest coach in Mount Sac history with his stats that he's achieved over the past 11 years. 3rd down and 12 now for the Rams of San Francisco. Roquemore going in motion out to the right. Back to pass is Bryant. Lofts it into the air and simply overthrows his intended receiver of Robert Garth. He was closely watched there by Brian Johnson, the defensive back.
Garth wanting some pass interference on that play, but really just some incidental contact, as the ref said. And you can see even on the just their 3rd play, they're really giving Terrence Bryant some fits back there with this tough defense at Mount Sac. They're really forcing him to rush the ball.
Well, Lenny Rodriguez knows that's is one of his toughest. And the kick is blocked. The kick is blocked and well past the end zone. Jimmy LeJay, the defensive back, comes up with the 2 points.
Great special teams effort there by Mount Sac, getting into the backfield, and the punter really just kind of delayed for a minute.
Took plenty of time there, as we'll hopefully get a chance to see the replay for those of you watching via WCCT Sports. But Jimmy LeJay comes up with a huge special teams play here, and now the Mounties of Mount Sac lead this contest by a score of 5-0.
That's got to be tough for San Francisco, going 3 and out and then end up giving some points and kicking back off to this Mount Sac team, who are fired up for this game.
Well, I know defensively, as I was just mentioning, Lenny Rodriguez, the defensive coordinator here for the Mounties of Mount Sac, has a tough task ahead of him with a very high-powered offense of the City College of San Francisco. but he knows that he wants to rise to the occasion with his troops. And we just saw that with some great special team play. So now the Mounties of Mount Sac not only gain 2 points on that last play, they will receive the football with D'Angelo Stewart Holmes and Larry Shine back to receive it at their own 20. Adam Hodgerney, the kicker, is 5'9", 180 pounds, a sophomore, set to kick it off. Nice high kick. D'Angelo Stewart Holmes, though, will be fielded by Larry Shine at his own 22. Looking for some blocking, gets by one, makes a spin move, is brought down to the turf right at about the 37-yard line. Credit the stop on the play to Aaron Butler. Well, the Rams of San Francisco coming with some impressive numbers. Look at that. During the 1990s, they have records of 8-2, 8-2 in consecutive years, 10-0 records from 92 through 94, an 8-2 record in 95, a 9-1 in 96, and here in this season alone, 10-0. So here's a team that has a combined record in the 1990s of a 79-7 win-loss record.
Very disciplined football program here in San Francisco.
First down and 10, ball spotted right at the 37. Futrell in motion. Machete on the keeper, turns it upfield. You lose one defender and takes the football just past the 40-yard line. Gain of about 2, maybe 3 yards on the carry.
Machete, a very athletic quarterback. Like I said earlier, 502 yards rushing on the year, adding on to a little bit there. Only 1,400 yards passing, but has been taking care of it on the ground and is a very dangerous threat to defenses.
That is one thing about Mike, and I know we have commented on that all season long, that Mike is a double threat. You don't know if he's going to throw the ball or toss it off to Shine or toss it downfield, and you just keeps defenses guessing all afternoon long. Second down and 8, so it was a gain of only 2 yards. Jamal Bradley, the lone setback. Whistles on the play and flags down on the field. First one of the afternoon here from Mount Sac.
Be interesting to see what the call is here. Possibly a false start.
Yeah, this is going to back up the Mounties about 5. Will be a delay of game call against Mount Sac. Not too often we've seen that here in the 97 season. But we have seen plenty of penalties for Mount San Antonio College. They wound up with 1,000 yards plus with flags in their 10-game regular season. So this is a team that averaged about 100 yards per game with penalty flags all through the 97 campaign.
Usually that's a huge factor, but Mount Sac obviously able to overcome that with their great defense and keeping teams down to low scores.
Second down and 13. Ball's going to be spotted right at the 35. Once again, Bradley, the lone setback. Machete looking out to his left. It is underthrown to Larry Shine, who had his man beat. He was closely defended by Milo Lewis, the defensive back. And Shine just unfortunately not able to get a handle on the football.
Possibly would have been taken down by the free safety had he caught it, but definitely would have been a nice gain on that play. Just a little bit underthrown by the quarterback, Machete.
Larry Shine, who comes into this football game with 212 yards total on the season, averages about 14 yards per catch, has 2 touchdowns. Now third and long, 3rd and 13 to be specific. Ball remains spotted at the 35. Back to pass is Machete, looking out to Jason Taylor and overthrows his intended receiver of Jason Taylor. Looks like the ball was partially touched there by one of the defensive men, Scotty Nicholson, a defensive lineman here for the City College of San Francisco.
Machete really rushed in the backfield there by the San Francisco defense. Great penetration on that play to get into the backfield and not let him get a good pass off.
4th and long. We'll bring up a punting situation obviously here from Mount Sac. Back to receive this football will be Chris Martin. He's a defensive back, standing 6 feet, 190 pounds, a sophomore. Martin going to stand at his own 20. Mike Scott with the punt. He's had no blocks this year, which has been great for the Mounties. Martin receives it at his own 19, looking for some blocking. You lose one defender, finally brought down right at about the 30.
And that is just great special teams play by Mount Sac. He had a lot of room to find a channel, but Mount Sac really closed him down, surrounded him, and took him down.
Run back of about 10 yards for Chris Martin. So we'll give a first down and 10 for the Rams at their own 30. Wind kind of kicking up here as we got a crosswind coming out of the west. Hasn't played much of a factor in this football game as of yet, as Mike Scott was able to sail that last punt pretty well. Kevin Brown once again acting as the lone setback. Brown with over 2,000 yards on the season, and the give is to Kevin Brown, and immediately gets stacked up at the line of scrimmage and will get caught for a loss. Credit Roland Morris, the defensive lineman, along with Nakia Ware, for making the big defensive hit on Kevin Brown.
Boy, you don't think Coach Fisk told him to key on Brown at all today, do you?
Nah, maybe not.
Great job by the defense to key on the running back there, taking him down.
Kevin Brown, who's quite familiar to those of you who are familiar to San Gabriel Valley High School football, started off his high school football career at Bishop Amat, spent some time over at West Covina, and finally wound up at Baldwin Park. We'll tell you more about that after this play. It's 2nd down and 10, so there's no loss in the play. Once again, Kevin Brown, he's caught right at the line of scrimmage for the 2nd consecutive time. This time, Antonio Pierce makes the stop for Mount Sac.
And even with the Mount Sac defense, ranked number 3, great defense, they had to be a little bit scared of Kevin Brown with the numbers he puts up. He averages 8.2 yards per carry. He's got 2,006 yards in the year, 23 touchdowns. Excellent running back for San Francisco, so they had to be concerned about what he could do to them today, but they're handling him very well so far.
Going to bring up a 3rd and 10 situation. I'm sure the Rams are feeling probably a bit frustrated at this point. This is a team that's very explosive and known for putting up yards and points on the scoreboard real quick. Terrence Bryant back to pass under some pressure by Sean Beard. Dumps it out to the flat. It's taken down to the 35 and tackled down to about the 39-yard line. Reception is made by Kevin Shorter, the tight end.
Coming up just short of the 1st down on that play, but again rushed by that Mount San Antonio defense in the backfield. Had to get the pass off real quick and just kind of dump it.
I know, talking to Lenny Rodriguez, the defensive coordinator for Mount Sac, he was just going to continue on with the same game plan as usual, stunt his front line, trying to bring in the linebackers on the blitz. Another heavy rush, and an end-over-end kick doesn't go very far. Is going to bounce and get touched right at about the 32 as Jerry Wallach just wisely lets it go.
What the punters really need to do is keep that ball down, especially when they're going to the west, because this wind is going to take that ball and shorten up the punt quite a bit, as it looked like it did there.
So now the Mounties will operate 1st down and 10 at their own 32-yard line. 6:18 here in the 1st quarter. Here's a look at some of the significant players for the Mount Sac Mounties. Dustin Owen winding up as a JC Gridwire All-American. Mike Machete winding up as the Mission Conference North Division Offensive Player of the Year. I formation for the Mounties. Bradley and Shine. The give is to Shine right up the middle, and he keeps the feet moving and turns his way forward for a carry of about 3, maybe 4 yards.
Good job by Shine. San Francisco really not giving up any room to run there, but picking up a couple of yards in the play anyway.
The Mounties all season long have been pretty effective in their long sustained drives. It's not the type of team that has really stuck to a big play operation, although they can certainly do that with a running of Eric Shine as well as Mike Machete. So now Bradley and Shine are spread out in the backfield. You got J.R. Edwards and Brian Futrell spread out as receivers out to the right. Back to pass is Machete. Steps out of the pocket. He loses 2 defenders. Is finally brought down to the turf for a loss. Credit the stop on the play to Melvin Camarena, the defensive lineman, as the Mounties come up with a loss of about 4 yards here on the play.
The Mounties offensive line really need to come up big and give their quarterback a little more time on these plays to develop. They're looking for some big downfield plays, and he needs some more time for that.
3rd down and 11 now. Clock is running with 5:05 remaining here in the 1st quarter. Mounties are leading this contest by a score of 5-0. Machete lining up in the shotgun. He's got Bradley and Shine spread in the backfield alongside with him. Machete looking out to his left, dumps it out to Futrell, who makes the catch right at about the 46, and that will be well enough for the 1st down.
Excellent catch by Futrell. 2 guys on him, and the offensive line stepping up there and giving the quarterback some time to make the play. Great catch by Futrell, who's averaging 15.2 yards per catch, has 4 TDs on the season, and great job by him.
Brian, who also has just under 400 yards receiving for the 1997 campaign, has been the top receiver as the tight end and H-back. You don't normally see that out of most offenses, but Brian has done a heck of a job for the Mounties all season long. 1st down and 10. Ball's going to be spotted right at about the 46. It's the Mounties with 2 receivers spread out to the right. He gives to Eric Shine, who rolls out to his left and is going to get pushed out of bounds right at about the 49.
San Francisco defense just kind of flowing to the right and forcing him out of bounds on that play. Good job by them keying on the ball.
As we said about the Mounties offensively, they really don't try to go for the big play. They'll just try to sustain a drive with pitches and mixing it up with pass plays in between.
Get a few yards here and there, and the nice thing about that is once in a while something's going to break open. You're going to get a big play out of that, just going for the smaller ones.
Dwight Carter will be lined up as receiver out to the left. It'll be J.R. Edwards spread out to the right. Lone setback and Jason Taylor. The give is to Taylor. He's going to roll out to his right. Has some daylight. He's to the 40 and brought down right at about the 35 of San Francisco. And that will be well enough for another first down and 10.
And that play developed completely around the speed of Taylor. He rounded the corner and turned on the jets. Picked up an extra 10 yards probably just because of his speed and outrunning some of the defenders.
Jason Taylor, who's been a significant part of this offense, has 516 yards total in terms of his rushing yardage. Averages about 5.8 per carry. In fact, there was a couple of games where Jason, filling in for Eric Shine, gained well over 100 yards plus per game. The give is to Eric Shine. This time he goes off tackle. He's down to the 25-20 and brought down at the 19 for another first down.
And once he gets past that defensive line, he is so dangerous. He can make some quick cuts and is very fast. The defense has to close him down before he gets through the line, or he's going to be scoring touchdowns today.
Well, the offensive line has really opened things up this afternoon so far for Mount San Antonio. That consists of Jeff Dush at left tackle, Ernie Fierro as left guard, Dustin Owen, the All-American at center, Ron Freeberg as the right guard, and Sal Caballero, the right tackle. First down and 10, balls at the 19 of San Francisco. Shine, the lone setback. Give is to Shine. Tries to get by one defender, but is brought down right at the ankles at about the line of scrimmage. Probably no gain on the carry.
Mount Sac still just trying to push the ball down slowly, and those big plays will develop. Like I said, once in a while you'll get the big play where it'll bust open, and that's really what they're looking to do today. They're frustrating this San Francisco defense and making themselves some yards and putting some points on the board.
James Cotton making the stop here for San Francisco. Will be a second down and 10, so it was no gain on the play here for Mount San Antonio. Jamal Bradley now in the backfield here for Mount Sac. Dwight Carter spread out as a receiver out to the left. And back to pass is Machete. Getting chased out of the pocket one more time. Keeps the football. Throws it downfield. It is caught, and reception is made by Dwight Carter. Nice catch by Carter. He had one defender riding on his back as soon as he made a catch on that football.
Great job by Machete. Great athletic play to get out of the way. As you can see in the replay here, a few defenders coming at him, squeezing through and getting that pass off just in time as the reception's made. Great play by Machete to get away.
Once again, it's that great mobility by Mike that makes the difference for the Mounties of Mount Sac. Was a pickup of 6 yards on the reception, so it makes it now a 3rd and 4. Ball is spotted inside of the 15 of San Francisco. Give us to Eric Shine, who's hit right in the backfield. Credit the stop on the play to Miguel Merritt, the defensive back, 6'2", 215. He's been one of their prime defensive players all through the '97 season.
Really looked on that play like somebody possibly missed a block, forgot about a particular defender, and he got in and really took it to Shine.
Well, Jaime Cortez now once again in for the field goal attempt. Jaime, who also acts as a backup quarterback, has progressively gotten more and more time as a place kicker here for the Mounties. And now this field goal attempt from the 25 is blocked by the Rams. It's recovered by the Mounties, but now the Rams come up with a big defensive play to stop Mount Sac.
Great job by the Rams to come up with a big play. Now that's going to shift a little momentum now and give them a little spark. We'll see if this offense can react and use that to focus a little bit, get some offensive yards churned up here.
Looked like Canary Knight, the linebacker for San Francisco, was the one who made the block on the attempt by Jaime Cortez, and now the Rams come up with a 1st down and 10 at their own 25. So as you said, David, that momentum could be shifting here. 1:25 remaining in the first quarter. Do have a little bit of stoppage in the play right now as the referees confer. For some unknown reason, it looks like they want some time on the time clock down in the southern end zone. Yeah, it's the 24-second clock. They just wanted to have some time on it. Was down to 0. Terrence Bryant along with Kevin Brown, the lone setback. San Francisco with 3 receivers spread out to the right. They give this to Kevin Brown, who has a hole this time. Brought down around the ankles as he's taken down right at about the 34-yard line. Credit Jerry Wallach for making the shoestring tackle on that last play.
Great job by San Francisco there, and they really chose a great play. It looked like Mount Sac was going for a zone defense. Not that they were going to go for some big yards, and they took advantage of that with a running play with Kevin Brown.
Jerry Wallach, the defensive back, who's had a fine year here for the Mounties, making the stop, and it's now a 2nd and 1, so it was a pickup of 9 yards for Kevin Brown. Terrence Bryant looks like he's checking off the play underneath center. Back to pass is Bryant. Dumps it off to Brown. He's got some daylight. He's to the 45 and brought down right at midfield. Stan Bogard in on the play here for Mount Sac, but it's a 1st down and 10 for the Rams.
Brown's starting to get into his groove a little bit. That Mount Sac does not want this to happen. They don't want the ball in his hands. Nice little dump play from the quarterback Bryant to Brown's hands, and good job by Bryant getting down and getting some extra yards for the 1st.
Kevin Brown, as we mentioned, with over 2,000 yards rushing, but he's also a great receiver as well. Kevin Brown, who has 204 yards in the reception department, averages about 15 yards per catch with 2 touchdowns here in 1997. 1st down and 10. Ball's right at the 49 of San Francisco. Give us to Kevin Brown. Goes off tackle to his right. Will gain about 2, maybe 3 yards on the carry, where he is finally stopped by Roland Morris.
Mounties clamping down a little bit on that play. Don't want to give up any more big yards to Kevin Brown. Good job by the defense.
Well, we were talking about Brown in his high school career, as we mentioned, for those of you familiar with San Gabriel Valley High School football. As we previously mentioned, Brown started off at Bishop Amat in his freshman year, spent a year or 2 at West Covina High School, didn't like it there, I guess, and decided to move on to Baldwin Park, where he had really achieved some great numbers there in the San Gabriel Valley. Well, the clock winds down to 0, and that comes to a close here for the 1st quarter, as the Mounties of Mount Sac will lead this one by a score of 5-0. Sounds like a baseball score up to now.
Definitely either that or a hockey score. We've got a block kick for a safety and a field goal off of that nice drive by Mount Sac, and now they're trying to stop the drive of San Francisco.
Well, the Rams now faced with a 2nd and 7. They'll have 3 receivers spread out to the left and 1 receiver spread right. Kevin Brown acting as the lone setback. Kevin Brown up to now only has 3 rushes for a total of 9 yards. So his great explosiveness has not been seen yet, but boy, he's got plenty of time to prove himself here this afternoon.
And that's what Mount Sac does not want to see, him getting into a groove and really picking up some big rushing yards.
Once again, it is Terrence Bryant sending Roquemore in motion out to the right. Back to pass is Bryant. The left, he tosses it downfield. Roquemore makes the catch. He's down to the 10. 5, makes the spin move. He's in for the score.
Great job by Roquemore on that play. Both the reception and the run to break 2 tackles. Take it into the end zone for a touchdown. Great job by Roquemore.
Roquemore kind of doing a down and in crossing pattern, making the catch, and as you said, David, he eluded a couple of Mounties to get himself into the end zone to make the score.
He's got 9 touchdowns on the year. He averages 20.9 yards per catch. And as you can see here, great job by him on the reception, breaking a couple of tackles to get through. Great athleticism by Roquemore.
Well, now in for the point after, it'll be Adam Hodgerney, the place kicker. Kick is up on the way. Looks good, and it is. So now early here in the 2nd quarter with 14:51 remaining, the Rams of the City College of San Francisco lead this one 7-5. We'll be back.
What is a man? A man stands proud. A man respects himself. A man shares his strength. A man protects his family. If you're a man with a woman who's pregnant, help her get the care she needs now. Because if you don't, for help, just call.
Welcome back to Titan Stadium on the campus of Cal State Fullerton as the Rams of the City College of San Francisco lead this contest by a score of 7-5. So far here in the first half, Mount Sac has 77 yards total rushing. San Francisco only 11, but Mount Sac in the passing division has 41, while San Francisco has 75. So the combination of Bryant to Roquemore has been kind of a troublesome here for the defense, and obviously by virtue of the fact of scoring 7 points. D'Angelo Stewart-Holmes takes the football right at the 1-yard line, looking for some blocking, and is finally brought down right at about the 22.
And you can really tell that the San Francisco team has taken that momentum and really used it here. They're a little more focused and getting down on the special teams there to stop the run back. Good job by San Francisco.
So now the Mounties will operate for their first offensive drive of the second quarter here, right at about the 22. Jamal Bradley will now act as the lone setback. Dwight Carter spread out as the lone receiver out to the right. Asante Donzi out to the left. Back to pass is Machete looking out. Across the corner and has brought, the catch is made right at about the 32. Asante Donzi making the catch. Hit almost immediately. It will be just shy of the first down. It could be of about a foot or so, depending on where the placement is.
Good job by Mount Sac. Now they want to get down and score a touchdown this time. They don't want to be kicking a field goal or taking any small points. They want to respond to that touchdown with a touchdown. We'll see what happens on this drive.
Well, it was a first down catch there by Asante Donzi. So now the ball, as it is spotted at the 34-yard line, the Mounties will now show an I formation. Bradley and Shine in the backfield. Machete on the option, pitches it out to Shine. He gets pushed out of bounds right at about the 36. Credit the stop on the play this time to Miguel Merritt, the defensive back.
Machete really does a good job of selling that
the pitch.
The pitch, yes, thank you very much.
Kind of a loss on words there,
yeah,
David.
Thank you very much. But he really does a good job of selling the pitch and getting to the outside. It's something that the San Francisco's really going to have to watch.
Too much sunlight, man. That's what it is.
That's, yes.
Yeah, bright sunny afternoon here for Titan Stadium. 2nd and 9 is the call now, as the Mounties picked up only 1 yard on the pitch. Machete dumps it off to Shine, who drops the football. He was doing a crossing pattern, lined up as a wide receiver, just simply cutting straight across the middle portion of the field, and just couldn't get a handle on it.
A lot of confusion going down there in the middle of the field with the defense. Interesting defensive scheme by San Francisco, and really clogged up those passing patterns that Mount Sac was running.
Going to be a 3rd and 9 situation. Ball is spotted just past the 35. Machete going to line up in the shotgun. Scott Bradley along with Eric Shine in the backfield. Nice block by Eric Shine as Machete rolls out to his left, dumps it out, and a catch is made by Dwight Carter right at about the 45. It will be a first down.
Great job of Machete cutting back in the backfield to get away from the defenders and to find the open receiver just in time. Once again, Machete really getting the job done on this Mount Sac team.
Dwight Carter, who comes into this football game with a total of 385 for 84 yards on the season, averages about 15.4 per catch, has 4 touchdowns on the season. First down and 10, ball spotted at the 46. Play action. Machete dumps it out. Catch is made by Jamal Bradley. He gets hit almost immediately, and it will be a reception down to about the 49. The Rams are trying to argue that he lost the football on the turf, but to no avail, as it will be a credited reception.
It was pretty close to, he was trying to gain possession of it as he was falling out of bounds, but the refs did give it to him. And good concentration on the reception there by Mount Sac.
Jamal Bradley, with only 34 yards receiving here in 1997, averages about 8.5 per catch with no touchdowns. So Jamal doesn't get called upon too much for trying to receive any kind of footballs here from Mike Machete. I formation now for Mount Sac. Pitch goes out to Eric Shine, almost loses it and has a wall of Rams to meet him right at the 45 for a loss. Miguel Merritt making the stop here for San Francisco. Right now, let's head to the sidelines to John Fralla. John?
Well, the new score that's on our board right now, we got, you ran it in?
Yeah, it was a great pass by my quarterback, and I just followed my block by the other receiver and went in, took it into the end zone.
I understand you have a lot of yardage tied up this year coming into this, and then I've got Terrence here that's got a lot of yards too going in. So you guys are making a pretty good team on this?
Yeah, it's a teamwork thing. He throw the ball, I catch it.
We number one for nothing, baby. Number one.
He throw the ball, I catch it. That's basically how we do it.
Back up to you guys.
Ball is tipped down to the turf as Machete was trying to get it out to Jamal Bradley.
Good job by the Rams defense there to get into the backfield, rush the quarterback once again, and make a decision he really didn't want to. Wanted that play to develop a little bit more.
Eric Shine so far in this football game has 10 carries for 75 yards. So Eric's been doing his job offensively here for Mount San Antonio. Mike Scott now in for the punt as the Mounties faced with a 4th and 10. Nice high kick, angles it. And the catch is made right at about the 15 and taken down right to about the 12 as Antonio Pierce makes the stop. David Swoops on the run back had to turn his shoulder in order to come up with a punt. And that's where the Rams will operate right at about the 11 with a 1st down and 10.
Once again, an excellent job by the special teams of Mount Sac getting down and getting the coverage on the punt return and pulling down about the 11-yard line. Great job by Mount Sac.
Mike Scott, as we said, has done a great job with his kickoffs and his punting ability all 97 season long. He has well over, I believe he has 24 punts inside of the 20-yard line. So his kicking duties have really made a difference here for the Mounties here in 1997. Give is to Brown. This time he tries to go off tackle to the left. Will pick up maybe 3 yards on the carry till he's finally brought down to the turf. Chauncey Turner making the stop for Mount San Antonio.
San Francisco looking to break something open up the middle with Kevin Brown. And if anybody can do it, he can. He just needs to kind of get into a rhythm. Really need to open up the passing game a little bit on the San Francisco side to open up that running game down the middle.
3-yard pickup on the last play, so it's 2nd and 7. Once again, Kevin Brown, the ball carrier. This time he takes the football down to the 25. There's a scramble for it as it comes loose, but it will be maintained in the favor of San Francisco.
Kevin Brown really has some deceptive speed. He's a big kid, but he is very fast, as you can see here, sprinting up the middle of the line and picking up some good yardage there.
Clock is stopped with 11-12 here in the 2nd quarter. San Francisco leading this contest by a score of 7-5. They are now faced, actually it was a 1st down pickup by Kevin Brown, so now it's a 1st down and 10 with the ball spotted at their own 25. Give once again is to Kevin Brown. This time he goes off left tackle. He's wrestled down to the turf by Antonio Pierce, but it's another 1st down and 10 here for the Rams.
Great job by Kevin Brown, keeping those legs churning and taking a couple of tacklers with him over the 1st down marker. And another great job by Kevin Brown. Now you can see why he's over a 2,000-yard rusher this season.
Well, Kevin's quite a big guy. He stands 6'2", 215 pounds. From what I recall covering some high school games, he was not quite that heavy back at West Covina. Probably weighed in at that time at about 180. In fact, he was probably just under 6 foot back in his high school playing days. Got movement on the front line. And it looks like the penalty will most likely go against San Francisco.
Somebody got a little anxious on that front line. And we have a false start.
So this will back up San Francisco about 5 yards. So it's now a 1st and 15 situation here for the Rams of the City College of San Francisco. Clock is stopped, or actually it is now running at 10:30 remaining here in the 1st half. Once again, Rams with a lone setback in Kevin Brown. 2 receivers spread out to the right. Terrence Bryant going to sprint out to his right, has some field open. He's down to the 40, 45, finally tripped up right at about the 46-yard line.
It's going to be very close for the first down. Great play calling by San Francisco, faking to Kevin Brown to the left and took most of the defense with him. And as you can see here, it was a keeper for the quarterback around the right side and picked up not quite the first down, a little bit short.
Terrence Bryant has 74 carries here in 97 with 129 yards total. Only averages 1.7 per carry, but he had a nice pickup on that last one. It was a pickup of 8, so it's 2nd and 2. Give us to Kevin Brown, hit in the backfield by Antonio Pierce. It'll be a loss of about 2, maybe 3 yards. Antonio read that play perfectly.
Great job by the Mount Sac defense once again. Mount Sac's defense has 3 guys that have over 30 solo tackles, Pierce being one of them, along with Wolak and Bagard. So great defensive effort by Mount Sac, and they've been doing that all year long.
Well, Antonio Pierce was named the Mission Conference Northern Division Defensive Player of the Year for 1997, so he comes in with a lot of credentials. I know a lot of Division I schools are taking a very close look at this young man here for the Mount Sac Mounties. 3rd and 4. We got whistles and flags all over the place. I think it might be too much time against San Francisco. Let's see the indication.
San Francisco wanting to put some more points on the board this drive. They don't want these penalties.
Well, it's a timeout that is being charged to San Francisco, so there was no penalty on the play. And now the Mounties will head to the sidelines and talk things over with defensive coordinator Lenny Rodriguez. Well, we talked about Division I recruits, and over the past 6 years, Mount San Antonio College has sent more out than any other college here in California, with a total of 49. You see there in the number 6 position, San Francisco with 36 players being sent to Division I. And there's plenty of other Mission Conference football teams, such as Pasadena and Long Beach and Cerritos, having sent out some Division I players here over the past 6 seasons. And I know, being in practice here for the Mount San Antonio College Mounties earlier this week, there was a swarm of recruiters and scouts and head coaches taking a look at a lot of these guys. And I know, talking to Bill Fisk also on Thursday, he said there's maybe nearly 20 guys on his squad who may go Division I after this season.
Wow, it really just shows the quality of these 2 football programs, being 1 and 6 on the on that scale, that the football players are coming out of these 2 programs and doing that kind of football.
Well, this game really means a lot, as we mentioned, not only as a national championship, but I'm sure there are plenty of scouts, some coaches here up in the stands this afternoon watching both of these squads, trying to pick and choose who might move up here after this 1997 season.
Everybody wanted to put on their best performance today, definitely.
3rd and 4. San Francisco has been 0-2 so far in terms of 3rd down conversion attempts. Terrence Bryant back to pass under some pressure. He's going to get sacked, trying to dump it out, dumps it into the turf, and there's a flag, so it looks like intentional grounding as well. Jason Welding making the stop.
San Francisco arguing that they had a receiver in the vicinity, but we'll see what the refs have to say about it. They're conferring.
Well, it looks like there was somebody kind of in the vicinity of the football as Bryant was trying desperately to look for a receiver. The indication is intentional grounding, and the flag will stand. So not only does it get caught for a loss down at about the 30, it will be driven back a few yards further than that as well.
Tough break for San Francisco. It looked like they may have had a man in the area, but it's hard to determine. The ref saw it a different way.
Jason Welding making the stop as a linebacker, and Jason, it's great to see him back in action. He was injured in, I believe it was the Riverside game earlier this year. They thought he was out for the season, but he's able to come back and contribute to the Mounties defense. Wallach taking the punt right at his own 36-yard line. He takes it to the 45. He's finally brought down to the turf. Once again, Miguel Merritt making the stop here for San Francisco.
And Mount Sac coming out with some great field position here off of that punt. The sack and the intentional grounding penalty really helped them out to set them up for some good field position coming off of there.
So now the Mounties Mount Sac, 1st down and 10 at their own 45. Clock is stopped with 8:37 remaining here in the first half. Mounties been kind of cold in their last 2 offensive drives here, David. Let's see if they can kind of regain anything. There's Jerry Wallach, who just gave us the run back here from Mount Sac. Give goes right up the middle. Ball carrier this time is Farrell Payton. Payton will pick up close to 7, maybe 8 yards on the carry.
Mount Sac once again just kind of driving the ball up the middle, testing that San Francisco defense, and just looking for a big play to open up from these smaller plays.
Farrell Payton only has 65 yards total on the season as a ball carrier. Averages about 3.6 per carry. As now Mount Sac faced with a 2nd and 2 situation, so it was a pickup of 8 on the play for the Mounties. Machete on the rollout to his right, looking downfield, has a man open. The catch is made down to the 30, to the 20, 15, 10, 5 in for the score.
Great play by Mount Sac.
Matt Edwards, the tight end, makes the catch, and he goes in for the first touchdown of the afternoon for Mount San Antonio.
Again, that play all because of Machete's mobility, getting away from the defender, throwing on the run to his tight end, and great job by the tight end to outrun the defender into the end zone.
Well, Matt Edwards as a receiver only has 90 yards on the season, 15 yards per catch. That is his first touchdown of the 97 season, and boy, it comes at a great time here for the Mounties.
Mounties regain the lead now 11-7, and looking for the extra point here, but yeah, crucial touchdown for the Mounties here.
Well, Mount San Antonio will now go for the 2-point conversion attempt. Jamal Bradley as the lone setback. Dwight Carter, Jason Taylor spread out to the left, and the Mounties will take a timeout. I guess they didn't like the defensive formation that they saw from San Francisco. And we'll talk things over with Bill Fisk and try to get an idea of how they want to confront this one. It was a 3-play, 55-yard drive that only took off 52 seconds off of the clock here for Mount San Antonio on that last scoring drive.
Both of their scoring drives have really come off of big plays like that. They've had a couple of small plays, and then in their first scoring drive, it was a big play from Eric Shine, who had a big bust open run, and then a big play from their tight end there to score a touchdown.
So now both squads conferring with their respective coaches. There you see the Mounties and Mount Sac talking things over with Bill Fisk. Paul Russell, who acts as the offensive coordinator, normally spends his time up in the booth radioing down his instructions for what he wants his offensive squad to do. And there you see the Rams of San Francisco gathering it back up defensively here and trying to keep the Mounties from punching in the 2-pointer. Clock is stopped with 7:48 here in the second. Mounties now leading this football game by a score of 11-7. Once again, it's Jamal Bradley as lone setback. Asante Donzi as receiver spread out to the right. Taylor and Carter out to the left. Donzi goes in motion. Back to pass with Machete. Rolls out to his right. Looks in the end zone. Ball is tipped and brought down to the turf. Credit James Cotton, the linebacker, for swatting it down and turning away the Mounties.
Well designed and executed play by Mount Sac, but great defensive effort there by San Francisco to thwart the 2-point conversion.
Well, statistically, the Mounties have done well in terms of the passing department. Mike Machete, 8 of 14 for 95 yards and 1 touchdown so far in this first half. So now the Mounties of Mount Sac, with a slim lead of 11-7, will be kicking off here to the Rams of San Francisco. Back to receive this football once again for San Fran will be Fayama Armstrong, a running back. Mike Scott will tee things up.
Mounties have really done well on special teams all day today. We'll see how they do on this kickoff coverage, but have really covered the kick returns well, and have a blocked punt to their credit as well today.
So Mike Scott with the boot. Nice line drive. Pushes back Armstrong deep into the end zone about 3 yards, and he wisely takes the knee and decides not to run it back. So once again, it's Mike Scott providing no return at all here for the Rams. So now the Rams of San Francisco will be at their own 20, obviously, with a first down and 10.
Toss to Adam.
Right now, let's set it down to Adam Babbitts. Adam?
One of the problems the Mount Sac Mounties are having in this game is offensive line coach Rob Roberts says that the San Francisco team is picking up the blitz. They're blitzing the quarterback, putting a lot of pressure. So what he plans on doing is bringing guys like Brian Futrell and all his tight ends in to pick up the free safeties and thus avoiding the blitz. Back to you, JR.
Got a long gainer now on the catch by San Francisco as the ball's taken down to the 35 of Mount Sac. Benny Johnson, the tight end, coming up with a reception. And now the Rams, once again with the big play, busted open against Mount Sac, Dave.
Huge gain by a big kid, Johnson. Great run by him and running past a few defenders there. As you can see on the replay, little dump off to Johnson as he takes around, rounds the corner, and just turns on the speed.
Benny Johnson, the tight end, he's 6'2", 235 pounds, only a freshman. One of the big guys here for this receiving core of San Francisco.
They're lucky to have Johnson as a freshman. They can groom him for another year or two, and it's a great player to have on your team.
Well, Johnson, who comes into this football game with only 135 yards total, averages about 16.9 per catch with 1 touchdown. And now the Rams will take a timeout and talk things over with George Rush, their head coach.
It's tough to get up on the receiving team when you've got guys like Jerry Roquemore and Robert Garth doing such a great job for San Francisco. But good job by Johnson on that play.
Well, I'll tell you, the Rams are an explosive team that really like the big play. We mentioned that the Mounties of Mount Sac kind of like those long, sustained drives to move things offensively and try to get things up on the scoreboard by moving it down the field inch by inch. But the Rams of San Francisco really kind of a contrast. They just go for the long, big play time after time, and you really saw it there in that last pass play to Johnson.
They're very, very explosive. You'll see them line up in quite a few triple receiver sets and really going for the big bomb, the big play. And they can also do it on the ground with Kevin Brown. He can really bust them open for a big gain as well on the ground.
Well, passing-wise, the stats are really showing that. Terrence Bryant is only 4 of 7, but he's completed for 120 yards total and 1 touchdown. So you see the big play factor here for San Francisco being a factor in this football game. First down and 10 at the Mounties 35. Gave us to Kevin Brown, who's going to get stacked up behind the line of scrimmage. Roland Morris along with Stan Bogard making a stop for Mount Sac.
Good job by Mount Sac's defense once again. They're not going to be moved. They're going to cover that middle and try to force the Rams to go to the air and test Roquemore a little bit more.
So now the ball will be spotted at the 36, so it'll be a loss of 1 on the last play. Brings up a 2nd and 11. Clock continues to roll with 6:45 remaining in the first half. Jerry Roquemore going in motion from the left. Back to passes Bryant under some pressure. Dumps it off to Roquemore. He's down to the 30 and down to the 25. Finally stopped by Deron Tyler. We saw Roquemore on his last touchdown doing really the exact same type of pattern, Dave.
Yes, he was, and if he would have been able to shake off that defender, might have picked up an extra 10, 15, possibly a touchdown the way the Roquemore runs.
Well, one thing about Mount Sac's defensive backs, they are fast and quick, but I know Lenny Rodriguez tends to place his guys in a man-to-man situation, and sometimes that comes back to bite you.
The only problem is if you play a zone on this San Francisco team, Kevin Brown will kill you through the middle.
3rd and 1. They give us to Brown. He goes right up the middle and over the top. Looks like he'll get it. And they do signify first down. So now the ball will be spotted just inside of the 25 of Mount San Antonio College. Clock is stopped with 5:55 remaining here in the first half.
Great execution by San Francisco, getting the first down and opening up 3 more plays for themselves. Looks like it's going to be a tight game all the way through.
Now the Rams once again sending out 3 receivers spread out to their left. And they give this to Kevin Brown. Tries to go off guard to his right. Gets stacked up right at about the line of scrimmage. And Antonio Pierce making a stop for Mount Sac.
Like we talked about earlier, it's the #1 ranked offense in the Rams against the #3 ranked defense in Mount Sac. And Mount Sac has averaged 6.4 sacks per game this season, which is just huge. They've only allowed 238 yards per game and are +14 in turnovers.
This is a team that has really generated a lot of turnovers in their favor here in the '97 campaign, and they have turned that into points on the scoreboard as well. Back to passes, Bryant looking out and rolling out to his right. Finally tosses it downfield and overthrows his intended receiver. Looks like it was intended this time to Jerry Dorsey, the wide receiver, 6'2", 175-pound freshman. He's doing a crossing pattern against Deron Tyler.
When you're running to the right and you're a left-handed passer and running to, passing to a guy that's running to the right, that's a tough play to make, as you can see here. Just overthrew him a little bit, but very hard to pass on the run. When you're lefty running right.
Well, it's quite interesting that Terrence Bryant being in San Francisco, some people actually make a comparison to him and Steve Young being up in the Bay Area because he's a lefty and he has such great mobility and a great throwing arm as well. 3rd and 11 now for the Rams, and now Bryant calls a timeout for San Francisco.
Bryant's got to love that comparison.
Well, the Rams of SF are only 1 of 4 on 3rd down conversion attempts and now facing a 3rd and 11. Obviously want to talk things over with George Rush and trying to make sure that they can come up here with this 3rd down conversion attempt.
They really don't want to march all the way down the field to this point and not pull any points out of it. They want to regain the lead here, if not at least pull a field goal out so they can say that they've earned something on this drive.
Well, there you see Orez Mose. He's an offensive lineman there for San Francisco, standing 6'6", 360 pounds. He's kind of a big kid, Dave.
Yeah, that's a big boy.
JR, toss it to Adam.
Let's go down to the field of Adam Babbitt's. Adam.
Right now we are joined by Mount Sac Mounties alumni, Tommy Haynes. Tommy, good to see you here.
Glad to be here.
Tommy, right now you're a coach for Bishop Amat.
Yes, I am.
And how are the Mount Sac Mounties doing? I mean, this is a pretty good team. Unlike your 82 team, it was a very good season also. You guys went to the Potato Bowl.
Yeah, we went to the Potato Bowl here. This team got a lot of good players, young players. They're going to go on and do some good things in at future colleges. But I think our team's comparable to this team.
And do you like what you see so far?
Oh, absolutely. They're doing a great job.
Great. Well, good luck to you with Bishop Amat. I know you guys had a pretty good season. You went to the semis.
Yeah.
And they got the finals tonight. Good luck, Tommy.
Okay, thank you.
Back to you, JR.
Great. Thanks a lot, Adam. As you'll see, plenty of alumni here for the Mount San Antonio College Mounties, and a lot of young men have really come out of this football program, have moved on, as we said, to Division I, but a lot of these guys wind up as coaches at some of the local high schools around the San Gabriel Valley and Southern California. So Bill Fisk has really had such a great impact on plenty of young men here in his coaching career.
Mount San Antonio getting good fan support out here today as well, as they won a national championship for this team.
3rd and 11 here for San Francisco. Back to passes. Bryant looking out to his right, has a man open. Jerry Roquemore makes the catch. Will get the first down as he takes the football down to about the 11-yard line.
What a clutch reception by Jerry Roquemore to pull the first down and get that 3rd down conversion and keep the drive alive for San Francisco.
Clock is stopped at 4:45. The Rams are out of timeouts here. But now they're looking at 1st down and 10. Ball's going to be spotted actually about the 12-yard line. So the Rams now putting themselves in scoring position. It is Roquemore spread out to the left along with Robert Garth. Kevin Brown, the ball carrier, now goes off tackle, stays on his feet, finally brought down right at about the 5 by Jerry Wallach.
This is where Mount San Antonio is going to be very tough down in the red zone. They do not allow a lot of points down there, so they're going to be tough on D. And we're going to see if this high-powered San Francisco offense can punch it into the end zone this time.
Clock continues to roll with 4:20 remaining here in the first half. Johnson now coming into the football game. Benny Johnson, that is, for San Francisco. Robert Garth going to head to the sidelines. We also got Kevin Gastineau as a wide receiver here for the Rams. Jerry Roquemore is going to be spread out to the right. We have whistles all over the place. Can't be a timeout. Well, it is. It will be charged this time to Mount San Antonio.
Mount San Antonio want to be sure of that defensive scheme. They don't want to allow any points on the board this time around, at least not 7.
So Lenny Rodriguez, the defensive coordinator for Mount San Antonio College, obviously wants to talk things over with his troops and trying to make sure that the Rams come up with no further points before they go into the locker rooms to finish off the half.
The Rams really want to go into halftime possibly leading this game, or at least having some momentum that they can carry out into the second half.
There you see along the sidelines there as the Mounties taking a breather and getting a nice little water break. But they really have a challenge ahead of them as the Rams of San Francisco will be faced with a 2nd and 3, and the ball spotted right at the 5-yard line of Mount San Antonio. George Rush along with his troops down along the sidelines. As we mentioned, George Rush, 20 years as a head coach here for San Francisco with a great 79-7 record in the 1990s. So Coach Rush having a big impact on community college football in the northern part of the state. 2nd and 3, ball spotted at the 5. Clock stopped at 4:03. Once again, the Rams with one receiver spread out left and right. Kevin Brown, the running back, gets stopped right at the 4 by Antonio Pierce.
If not for Pierce, that would have been a touchdown. Great job by Pierce.
Without question, Antonio once again proves his worth as Defensive Player of the Year in conference.
Kevin Brown juking a little bit to the left there and would have been over the goal line had not been for the Pierce just really being aware of the situation and keying on the running back. Great job.
Antonio, another one of those players who is being strongly looked at by many a Division I program right now. Says he's hoping to go to the University of Arizona. 3rd and 1. Ball spotted right at about the 3.5, we'll call it the 4-yard line. The give is to Kevin Brown, goes off tackle for the score, untouched.
Mount Sac really kicking themselves right here for that defensive play. Great job by San Francisco.
Virtually nobody there to make a stop or a hit on Kevin Brown, and he just simply waltzes his way into the end zone for the touchdown.
With that many tries on the end zone, it's almost difficult not to get a touchdown because you got to change your defensive schemes around quite a few times, and eventually they're going to punch it through.
Hodgery in for the point after, puts it between the uprights, and it is now the Rams with a 14-11 lead with 3:16 remaining here in the first half.
Good job by Mount Sac defense, but just not quite good enough. They're a little weary from that drive, I believe, and just kind of gave it up there at the end.
Right now, let's step aside for a short break. You're catching all the action here on WCCT Sports and 90.1 FM KSAK.
Late one night in Kalamazoo.
Every week for the past 4 years, Stephanie has read stories to a room full of Savannah, Georgia preschoolers. Every week, the look on the children's faces is priceless. The love that Stephanie feels from every child has made her life a whole lot brighter. Even though Stephanie has never even seen their faces. To see how you can help in your community, call the Points of Light Foundation. Do something good. Feel something real.
8 plays on taking up 80 yards and 4:17 off the clock as the Rams come up with a touchdown and lead this contest by a score of 14-11. And now back to receive once again for the Mounties of Mount Sac, D'Angelo Stewart Holmes along with Larry Shine standing right at about their own 10-yard line. Hodgerney with an end-over-end high kick, and it looks like Shine will take it at his own 11, moving out to his left to the 20, gets by one defender and finally pushed out of bounds. Right at about the 23, we'll call it the 24.
Well, with only 3 minutes left on the clock, Mount Sac is really going to look at some big plays here, try to get some points back on the board, maybe tie it up before they go into halftime, and sure would like to take the lead, but at least tie the scoreboard up so they come out on an even playing field in the second half.
Well, a field goal would tie things up, but obviously they want to put a touchdown on the scoreboard before the half ends. As Dave mentioned, they have just about 3 minutes to try to do something with it. Shine and Machete in the backfield, and Mike in the shotgun formation. He's going to roll out to his left, shovel pass to Eric Shine, who loses the football. It bounces out of bounds, luckily here for Mount Sac. In fact, it will be a gain there for Mount San Antonio by virtue of the fact that football went forward.
Very lucky bounce for Mount Sac. Not only did it bounce forward, but it bounced out of bounds as opposed to in the arms of an awaiting San Francisco player, but definitely a scary moment for Mount Sac.
Well, there was plenty of San Francisco fans jumping out of their seats after that one as they thought they had a chance to get a handle on that football.
And to take over field position there would be great at this point in the game for San Francisco.
Well, there will not be any kind of forward motion given there to Mount Sac, so they're going to call it a 2nd and 10. Give us to Jamal Bradley, right up the middle, keeps the feet moving, gets by one defender, rides by another, finally is brought down at about the 41.
What a great run, keeping the legs churning. Little locomotive out there running over some people, and great offensive play by Bradley.
Jamal Bradley standing 5'10", 210 pounds, kind of a stocky little guy, and able to use his muscle to come up with a Mount Sac 1st down and 10.
With that height and weight, very hard guy to tackle, low to the ground, and hard to get your arms around to bring him down. Excellent running there by Bradley.
In fact, that was Jamal's first carry of the afternoon, and it was a big one. Futrell going in motion out to the right. They give this time is to Eric Shine, trying to get over Futrell. We got flags in the field. He loses the football, but Mike Machete jumps on it. Eric Shine was trying to get over Brian Futrell, who was acting as a blocker and got tossed down to the turf. And it looks like this penalty is going to go against Mount Sac as well.
As you can see on the replay here, caught in the backfield a little bit and then fumbled the ball. Luckily, Machete was able to fall on it. But he was delayed a little bit by his own man taking a block down and had to jump over him and just didn't have time to find a hole after that.
No indication as of yet what the infraction will be all about, but they are marking it off against the Mounties of Mount Sac. So it'll be a holding call against the Mounties. And the ball will be spotted right at about the 26, we'll call it the 27-yard line of Mount San Antonio. Clock continues to move with 2:04 remaining here in the first half. Machete going to operate from the shotgun formation. Jamal Bradley alongside him in the backfield. J.R. Edwards spread out to the right. 2 receivers spread out to the left. Back to pass is Machete. Trying to find somebody open, getting chased out of the pocket out to his left. He's down to the 30, 35, and runs out of bounds right at about the 39. Will be shy of the 1st down marker by about a yard or so.
Great run by Machete. If he could have just stayed in for 2 more yards, we've been looking at a 1st down. But great athleticism once again by Machete. This kid is a great quarterback.
Well, the Mounties of Mount Sac were faced with a 1st and 24 situation, and now they'll be looking at maybe a 2nd and a long 2. So Mike Machete picking up 22 yards on the carry. Once again, he's going to operate from the shotgun formation. Jamal Bradley acting as the lone setback. Machete on the long count. Back to passes Machete. Looking downfield, tosses it out. Dwight Carter makes the catch down to the 45-40, stumbles on the turf. And boy, he could have had plenty of daylight if only he had kept on his feet, Dave.
If he could have kept on his feet, he may have been looking at a touchdown there, and he is kicking himself for tripping on the turf. It looks like maybe got his cleat caught up in the grass, and that just kind of took him down.
Well, the football will be spotted right at about the 40-yard line of San Francisco. That stops the clock with 1:34. Actually, the clock will now run as they just took some time out to move the chains. So now just inside of a minute and a half for the Mounties to try to come up with something on the scoreboard. 1st and 10. Once again, it's Machete from the shotgun formation. And we have whistles and flags all over the place. And let's see what the indication will be.
Refs conferring down on the field.
Well, it'll be a procedure call against Mount San Antonio. Really, up till this point, the Mounties have been kind of disciplined with the penalties so far, Dave.
Very disciplined with the penalties and with the ball, too. They've lost the ball 2 times on this drive as well. Been able to recover their own fumbles, but kind of a sloppy drive for Mount Sac.
Well, it's only the 3rd penalty of the afternoon here for Mount Sac, which is really not that many for them at this point of their usual, their typical modus operandi. It's 1st and 15 as they will lose 5 yards by the penalty. Back to pass to Machete, stepping out of the pocket, tries to get it to Brian Futrell and overthrows his intended receiver in Brian. Closely guarded there by Miguel Merritt. Let's take a second look at this one, David.
See him drop back, has plenty of time, but just a little bit overthrown on Futrell. And I think they really need to be looking downfield here to get back into field goal position.
Clock is stopped with 58 seconds remaining in the first half. So now the Mounties now faced with a 2nd and 15. They have 1 timeout remaining. Once again, it's Machete from the gun. Jamal Bradley going to go now spread out to the left as a wide receiver. Machete on the keeper, goes right up the middle, has a little bit of daylight. Gets by one defender, finally brought down right at about the 45-yard line. And will be shy of the first down by about 6 yards.
Good job by Machete. You can really see the fearlessness of Machete running right up the middle at full speed, right into the zone where the linebackers hang out, and picking up some nice yardage there.
Now looks like not sure if the Mounties are going to take a timeout. It appears that they will. Some words being exchanged down on the sideline. I see one of the offensive linemen here from Mount Sac was having a few words between he and some of the Rams along the San Francisco sideline. Now the clock is stopped with 36 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. And that will do it for timeouts for Mount San Antonio.
Mount Sac want to be careful about talking on the sidelines. Not pick up a needless penalty here in this drive. They've already picked up a couple.
Well, I know talking to some of the Mount Sac players earlier this week, they were saying that San Francisco does kind of have the reputation for getting in your face and doing a little bit of the taunting and trash talking.
It's all part of the game. Take it in stride.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the Mounties have really done their fair share of it during the season as well, I can tell you that. But I know they were looking towards being as disciplined as they could here in this football game, and so far they really have exhibited that.
Both teams done a great job today. Shaping up to be the matchup that everybody thought it would be. Very close, only 14-11 right now in favor of the Rams.
Well, Mount Sac now faced with a 3rd down and 6. Ball spotted at the Rams' 36-yard line. And now Machete will operate from the gun. He has Brian Futrell and J.R. Edwards spread out to the right. Carter and Asante Donzi out to the left. Jamal Bradley, the lone setback. Machete going to roll out to his left, looking downfield. Being chased, trying to find a receiver. Dumps it and simply overthrows his intended receiver of Brian Futrell. Really, you got to give the secondary of San Francisco a lot of credit because they sure are not giving Mike Machete anybody to throw it to.
Well, and the front line for this San Francisco team is doing a great job on penetration and rushing Machete here every once in a while, getting into the backfield and making him make passes he really doesn't want to make.
There you see Miguel Merritt, one of the defensive backs there for San Francisco. Boy, he's had himself a pretty good year. He's had 2 interceptions on this season alone. And now Mike Scott in for a 54-yard field goal attempt. Snap is down, kick is up, on the way. Looks like it might be enough, and it's good. Mike Scott, 54 yards.
What a kick by Mike Scott to tie this game up, and boy, San Francisco is stunned. You can see the players walking off the field not believing it.
I believe that has got to be Mike's personal record. I'm not sure if that's a record here for Mount San Antonio College. We'll have to look that one up.
Fans of the Mount San Antonio side on their feet for Mike Scott. What a great kick.
Well, we're looking it up right now. It looks like I'm not sure if this might be an actual school record here for Mount San Antonio College. There was a little bit of breeze behind them, but I don't think that made much of a difference. It just Mike had enough leg into the football there, Dave.
Plenty of leg. He probably could have had another 5 yards onto that thing. He doesn't line up a lot behind the ball. It doesn't look like he's going to get a lot on it, but has a lot of leg to get that ball downfield. What a kick.
Well, depending on what yardage they credit him with, the longest field goal in Mount Sac history is 54 yards. So that would tie a school record depending on if they determine it to be a 54 or 53-yard field goal attempt here for Mike Scott.
I'll have to check on that for you later.
So Mike Scott, who comes up with a big 3-pointer, nails this one here on the kickoff as it will be taken right at about the 10. Armstrong with a football takes it down to the 25. And that's where the Rams will operate with a 1st down and 10.
Mount San Antonio's got to love tying up the score there with only about 30-40 seconds left on the clock in this half, and looking to go into the locker room with a tie score if their defense can hang on for the next 18 seconds or so.
Well, you can't be too loose here, as the Rams have 18 seconds to try to come up with a touchdown, and they can do it with an explosive offense that they have. So,
especially with Roquemore, he can break some tackles and get downfield, so they're going to need to keep an eye on that receiving core.
Well, it looks like Terrence Bryant is going to take a knee, and the Rams are just going to take it into the locker room safely with a 14-14 tie. So it's been a great matchup here in this first half, as both teams offensively and defensively have exchanged really some great play and football action here.
Fans on their feet from both sides, enjoying a great game between these two teams. Great defense and offense both being displayed, and not a lot of penalties to hold things up. It's been a great game so far.
Well, as we head into halftime, we're tied up at 14. You're catching all the action here on WCCT Sports and 90.1 FM KSAK.
Here's one time it doesn't matter who your neighbor is. Here's the other. Life's too short. Stop the hate.
That's my dad. And that's Mom. Dad's got an idea, a way to get rid of all the grody garbage that's polluting the world. He's invented a big rocket ship to shoot all the garbage into outer space. Mom's not sure, but Dad says his invention will save the world.
There's an easier way to save the world. Recycle. For your free recycling action guide, write Recycle. Environmental Defense Fund, 257 Park Avenue South, New York, New York.
You're going to be better than me, Christopher. I can see it in your eyes. No wasting your life on something you hate. Not for my son. You're going to college. I can see it in your eyes.
I can see it in your eyes. You are going to do something important.
Christopher, time for work.
We've always had the dreams. Now we have the means. Please, support the United Negro College Fund.
If you can't use force to stop a friend from drinking and driving,
hop in.
Use your wits.
This is your car.
Yeah.
My brother had the same car. He never let me drive it, though.
No?
So you must have had me in mind when you bought this. Wait till he hears you've got the same one, and you let me drive it, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Take the keys, call a cab, take a stand. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.